This is Jeremy with Mountain Creek Outdoors, and today we're going to talk about PrincetonTec's Qaud 2.
So, here we have it. This is the Qaud 2 by PrincetonTec. Most importantly here, see that? Made in the USA. Got to give a lot of props to these guys. You know, a lot of companies making stuff like this. I mean, it's a headlamp. A bunch of different people make it, but these guys are at least trying to keep it in the US. So a lot of props for the effort that goes into such a thing. 78 lumens distance. They're claiming 50 meters. It's got two modes. This is a waterproofing ring. It's IPX7. Pretty much just means you can dunk it in water. You know, they're saying it's good for up to a meter below water, but it's just something where, you know, if it's going to get rained on, it's going to be fine. It can be submerged. It'll be all right. You're not going to go diving with it, but you know, it's waterproof for the better part of it. And then they're saying it's wide beam. It's a flood. Now, I consider myself a bit of a headlight connoisseur. I do a lot of work with headlamps. I've used a lot of different headlamps for camping, for hunting, you know, from PrincetonTec, the Pritzl, Coast, you know, you name it. I've tried a bunch of different ones. Okay, so this popcorn sound goes on for about a full minute, and I quite frankly just couldn't take it. It's even distracting me when I'm trying to talk about things. You see right there, I'm going into the fact that there's a 10-year warranty on this, which is pretty incredible for a headlamp. Also, I do talk about some of the contents in there, being that there is the standard head strap. There's a rubber band for like hard hats. There's a 3M Velcro product and the batteries that come with it. And then really the only other thing I touch on there is the fact that this is fully regulated, which effectively makes it function kind of like a lithium battery, where you get more full power for a time before it actually starts to decrease as far as the brightness of the bulb. It's a pretty neat concept that they have there. I kind of try and explain it a little bit, but really, I mean, for the most part, I just think it gives you full power for a duration of time before the batteries actually start to dim. That's the main point of it. So let's hope this sounds better than just popcorn going off in the background. We'll cut back to that here. Let's see. For a longer period of time before the battery starts actually draining. Which is great, you know. This one here is saying that, you know, on high you get regulated for 1 hour and you get a total of 105 hours. On low, you're still going to get 110 hours, but 5 hours regulated. So let's open this bad boy up and see what's inside here. Headlamp itself, relatively small and lightweight. They are claiming it's only 3.4 ounces. That is very light, and especially when you're using it for work, if it's something that's being strapped on a hard hat, it's nice being light. So we have our rubber headband. This is going to be for on your hard hat. It's pretty substantial material here. It's got some stretch, but it's pretty tough stuff, pretty stout. We have our standard PrincetonTec headband, 3M. This is a quality hook and loop. It's actually something I really like, is that it's not it's different. It's not the standard fuzz. Both sides are this loop, but it's not like gonna hook and pull on a shirt. It only works on itself. And of course they come with, you know, look at this, you get Duracell. I mean, quality, you know, it's a brand name battery, it's a quality battery. This is not you know, some cheap Chinese things that they throw in there. So the way this one works, it's a little screw on the back side. It's small, it's tiny, but that's alright. Opens up. See, there's a seal. This is actually an O-ring. They're on that. There's an O-ring right there. There's a lip for sealing it. Obvious, totally obvious which way the batteries are going to go in here. Pop it
little thing like so, and insert batteries. I guess something else I should point out is that this is not going into just plastic, even though they inserted a brass. There's brass threads in there. Nice touch. It's a little thing, but it's a very nice thing. Give you a slot. If you're really big fingers, you can use a flathead screwdriver if you can't get in there. Indicator for low battery. I don't want to blind myself, but boom, right there. Lumens. That is bright. Plenty bright. It's low. Off. High. Low. High. Low. High. Low. Hit and hold, it's going to go off. On high, you can hold it again, it'll go off. Button feels good, it's solid. That's it, 2 mode. Incredibly simple, super quick. And it is, it's light. I mean, a lot of them are light. You know, the batteries are the bulk of the weight, to be honest. That's it. I'm going to get this thing on a hard hat. I'm going to use it in some work conditions for a while, and I'm going to finish this video with a quick recap on what I think of it. You know, we'll see how it performs. I'll put it to the test a bit. Like I said, I use these things almost daily, so something like this, you know, 105 hours, I don't expect them to run that entire amount of time. You know, I need them to stay pretty bright. A little picky about that, but we'll see how it works under real working conditions. But here it is. This is the Quad 2. They call it the professional series or industrial sometimes. You know, I love how industry lingo they put it right on here. It's intrinsically safe. I can't say I've seen a headlamp that wasn't intrinsically safe, but they put it on here just to know that, you know, this is professional. It is industrial. That said, we'll get this thing through its paces and be back. Okay, we're back. It's been about 4 months since that first intro, and really that first month that I had it out, I used it a lot. Probably went through about 3 sets of batteries, and then for the past 3 months I've used it very sparingly. You know, it looks really clean now, but it's just because I rigged it off with some Windex. But I never really got it too nasty dirty anyways. Most of the time it had the rubber strap on the hard hat, worked great. I did not try the 3M, that hook and loop that they have, just because of the particular hard hat. I just didn't want to dedicate it to that. So the straps come off pretty easy. I did use it, you know, a couple times just with a ball cap, but this, you know, thing never really got dirty doing any of that, and like I said, the rubber held up great, so I was really happy with that. Performance wise, it has been great. One thing that did throw me for a loop is that when you turn this thing on, you know, I was looking for a low battery light to come on. Well, after I used it for a couple days, all of a sudden I thought I lost my function for high and low. That's not the case though. Just what happens, being that this thing's regulated, at least I believe that has something to do with it, is that when the battery gets low enough, it won't distinguish between a high setting and a low setting. So if I turn this thing on, it's on, I can tell it to go to low, but I'll never see it. It'll just never happen. But when I turn this thing off, see, now I get the low battery signal. It's got a low battery. And I thought, okay, every once in a while I'd see it flash or something like that. That's not the case. It only comes on when you're turning it off. You'll get that red low battery light. But really, you know, when you're using it, you never see it. You're wearing it. But if all of a sudden you're using it and you go from high to low and you don't notice any difference, it's really just because the high is dim to that point where it just you know, low is as bright as it gets. Which, to be honest, is still fairly bright. You know, in small spaces, tight quarters, where there really is very little light. I mean, it's still a substantial amount. I mean, you can still do a lot of work with it. But just something to be aware of. That is part of the function of it. Yeah, no, I really liked it. I can't say I smashed or abused it really bad in any way. Everything works fine. You know, the little ratcheting thing works fine. You know, works good there. O-rings are fine on the inside. The lens, whatever this is made out of, it's got to be a plastic. It's not a glass. Like I said, I haven't really dropped it from any severe height, so I can't say it's, you know, going to be shatterproof or nothing. But it doesn't scratch real easy. But if you're one of those guys that's always wearing gloves and you're constantly wiping the lens, there are some small scratch. I'm sure I won't be able to get them to show up. There are some small scratches on there. Like I said, I myself am pretty good about that. If I'm getting it all dirty, I'll blow it off with some air, and then after that I'll take a rag with some Windex, and it becomes real clean. Nothing close to where it would hinder, you know, the ability to throw light, but I could see it getting scratched up. It's got a little bit of a bezel around here, but it's very close. You know, if you were to drop it flat on a surface, I think that they've got it set so it just won't quite touch. But if it were me, and being in kind of an industrial environment, a work environment, I would have maybe built up this rim a little bit. But otherwise, no complaints really. The button sometimes, especially if you got a glove on, it feels like you're pressing the button, you're kind of pressing the corner of it, but it hasn't been anything to where, you know, I press, nothing happens, I just roll my finger a bit and I hit the button. So yeah, no complaints. I am really happy with this light. It's a great work light. You know, compared to a lot of other ones, I like the flood function. You know, usually when you're working close with your hands, you don't need a beam that's going out there for distance. You're looking for a flood. And this thing's, like I said, they're incredibly bright, very simple, pretty tough and rugged. I've been very happy with it, you know, for a work light, and, you know, just about anything else. You know, it's light. It fits the basic functions that you have for a headlight. And yeah, I can't say anything else about it. You know, American-made light, reasonably priced. What more can you ask for? PrincetonTec, I would say, did a very good job on this one. So that is the review of the PrincetonTec Qaud 2. I wish I had it on there. It doesn't say that. They tell you it's a 2 mode, but all this time I didn't pick that up on that until now. But yeah, this is the Qaud 2 from PrincetonTec. Good buy, especially if you're using it, like I said, for work or just a, you know, daily use kind of thing. Really like it. Home run, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.